Welcome back, baseball fans, to another episode of Sandlot Talk, episode 6. Taylor, what's happening, brother?
Not much, my friend. Not much at all. We're coming out of the All-Star break, second half of the season. Got the trade deadline in a couple, not even a couple, in like basically a week.
Basically a week from tomorrow. I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an interesting week. Big implications.
Lots of notes today for you to either agree or violently disagree with me.
Oh, I can't wait.
Welcome back, guys. We have got a packed show for you today. We are going to do a little bit of a recap about the All-Star game that was last week. We're going to go a little bit around the horn, give us up a little standings. And then we're going to go right into trade talks as we do our one episode per week for right now. Yeah. We're going to talk about the trade talks because a lot are going to happen this week. So we want to get ahead of them because I feel like I'm going to call a couple of them. So we'll see on that. Taylor, you watch the All-Star game, man?
Oh, of course I did.
What'd you think?
I liked the ESPN broadcast. I thought it was cool to have like the pitcher and catcher mic'd up, like when Nasty Nestor was on the mound. That was pretty cool. Just hearing them talk. Him and was it Trevino behind the plate, just like talking through their pitch selections, and they didn't have to use signs because they could hear each other. That was pretty cool.
Dude, my favorite was I liked when Manoah was up there.
Yeah, dude,
he was cool. He was
talks
asking
mad shit.
Yeah, he was asking Schmaltzy like what pitches to do, and I was like, this is
like, hey, I'm gonna strike this guy out. What should I do it with?
Yeah, this was awesome. I mean, eventually he actually like hit Jeff McNeil, but. It was kind of cool to listen and like him actually do what Schmaltz was telling him to do instead of like listening to Kirky that was behind the dish.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was sweet. And plus they had those guys mic'd up in the dugout half the time. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
It just kind of gave us a little insight of like our favorite players, and like we never hear them talk on a baseball field. So
yeah, man,
it was kind of cool to see what they say and what their insight was.
Game itself was slightly boring. I mean, 3-2 was that the final?
It was like 4-2 or 4-3. I don't know, something like that.
I think it was 3-2 or 3-1 because the only offense was Goldie hit a bomb, and then Stanton hit a 2-run bomb, and Buxton hit a bomb right after him, and that was the last of the scoring for the game.
Yeah, that was crazy. I watched like the first couple innings, and I saw the home runs, and then I went out to dinner.
You didn't miss anything.
Didn't miss a thing.
Except for some of those cool clips with the mic'd up. But
so I saw the highlights, and that was good enough for me.
And we should have known that it was going to be somebody who didn't even deserve to be in the All-Star game who was going to win the MVP and like do well. Like Stanton didn't even deserve to be there, at least not a starter. And of course, he hits the 2-run home run and gets to take home the MVP.
Yeah, after we were talking shit the whole entire week, of course, it's that dude. I placed a bet on Jose Ramirez to win it.
Oh, it's my guy.
He's like the only guy to go 2 for 2.
Yeah.
If he would have hit a bomb, easy MVP right there.
Yeah.
None of my bets hit that night, by the way. Besides the AL winning. I said AL winning.
Yeah.
I said over 6 runs.
Yeah, the over was a popular play. Did not hit. The bullpens were nasty.
I said first run would be a single.
Okay.
Didn't get that one.
Okay.
What else did I do? Jose Ramirez MVP. Didn't
Yeah.
get that one.
Tough.
Yeah, it was all around tough.
I had the
tough
AL,
bet on that.
I had the over. I took a flyer on Ty France to win the MVP. I was hoping he'd get up late in the game as a reserve and do something. He did not. I honestly don't think he got an at bat, which is a shame. But
you just wasted money. Is that what you're saying?
sprinkle a little bit. It wasn't going all in. And then I also bet on Hardo Pete Alonso to win MVP, which he also did not. So rough night, but great game. Not even a great game. Entertaining night of baseball, I guess.
Hey man, still
it's in the
fun
past.
to watch. I mean, it's great. I love it. It's a nice kind of relaxing baseball game to watch. I don't really need to pay attention the whole time, but it is fun to see all those guys out there.
Yeah, I think I've come around to the stance that next year I'm not going to get as mad about players getting left off the All-Star team. I've accepted it's a popularity contest. It's entertainment. Baseball wants to showcase it, and I'm fine with that. Let's have some fun during that weekend. Just sucks for those guys who don't get recognized as they should, but I'm sure we'll get mad about it by this time next year anyways. But
definitely getting mad on the starters at least, for sure on that.
Yes, sir.
That was a rough one. Oh, geez, guys. Let's get into these standings. How about it?
Let's do it.
Well, once again, a little quick rundown, nice and easy.
Around the horn.
Yankees are still in first place. I don't think big surprise for anyone to see that one. Blue Jays getting a little hot.
I was gonna say surprise in that division though. Blue Jays 8-2 in their last 10. Boston Red Sox 1-9.
Ooh,
They had a
struggling.
negative 52 run differential against the Toronto Blue Jays in their series out of the All-Star break.
Ooh, rough
You
one.
want to know the last time a team had a run differential worse than that through a series?
1965.
1899.
Little off.
Saw a tweet that was like last time that this happened, like people were dying of like malaria and diarrhea in the United States because it was 1899. Like the Louisville Colonels was the last team that were that bad through a series.
Yeah, do we have smallpox back then?
Yeah. That's a tough look for your Boston Red Sox. And yes, as we both have I think we both have been on the Blue Jays train a little bit. We both weren't doubting that they were going to be a playoff team. They've started to kind of take control of that second spot in the AL East, a game over the Rays, but a big 5 games over the Orioles and Red Sox, which is huge. Seems to be shaping up as the Blue Jays, Rays, and then your Seattle Mariners rounding out the wild card. Obviously, we can't count out the Orioles or Red Sox yet, and I think we'll get to the Red Sox a little bit later on because they're going to be an interesting team to watch. They got a couple expiring contracts, a couple guys who may not be back next year. They got to decide if they're going to try to make a run or if they're going to sell. I guess we'll get back to that later. But yeah, the Rays and the Orioles both playing about 500 ball over the last 10 games, staying where they are. Rays are 3rd in the standings, Orioles 4th. We can move to the AL Central.
Well, hey, this is something I never thought that I would say in my lifetime. The Baltimore Orioles have the same record as the Boston Red Sox as we currently sit here.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. Again, just people get baseball's a long season. It's boring, but man, things can change fast. We were sitting in this room, 2 weeks ago? I've always been a big Red Sox fan. I like this team. I still think that they're one of the best teams in the American League. They were sitting in second in that division, and the Orioles were, not even close to in the picture. And then they, rattle off their 12 wins in a row. Red Sox are 1-9 in their last 10. They both sit at 500 at the bottom of the AL East.
Well, clap it up for Oriole fans. Let's go, baby. I love to see that. Let's go. Love to see that.
They weren't gonna. They're still playing good ball. They're still playing good ball.
Hey, keep at it, baby. Yeah, let's go to the most boring division in all of baseball. I honestly don't even I watch MLB Network every single day, and I don't think they mention the AL Central ever.
No.
At least while I'm watching it, I swear they just breeze over it like nothing happens, unless they're talking about Bobby Witt Jr. or some of these young studs in that division. That's it. They're never talking about the Twins. They're never talking about the Guardians. They might bring up the White Sox if they do something fucking nuts because La Russa's a psycho. But they're never talking about the Tigers, and hell no, they're never talking about the Royals.
Yeah, I mean, Twins are 500 over the last 10. Guardians are 6-4. The White Sox got hot for a little bit, cooled off slightly since the All-Star break. They're 7-3. They're sitting at 500 as well. Guardians kind of knocking at the door for one of those wild card spots. I didn't think anybody for the AL Central was going to be there, but they're 2 games over 500. They are still about 4 games back from the Rays for that last wild card spot right now, but that is definitely doable. I never thought we would see the day where 2 teams from the AL Central could be in the picture, but here we are. I mean, if the White Sox can keep winning games and start challenging the Twins, we could be looking at a wild card team out of that AL Central with the way that the East is kind of falling apart with the Red Sox here.
Hey, Sox 7-3 in the last 10. I still am a believer. Come on, White Sox.
Yeah, I'm with you. We're a big White Sox pod. I think you texted me right after this past weekend that you want to throw a little bit on the White Sox to win the World Series?
I threw $50 on the White Sox to win the World Series.
All right,
plus 4,000 right now.
We are officially a White Sox podcast because I also threw a little bit of money on the White Sox to win the World Series when you texted me that. So
let's get hot.
South side stand up.
Oh God. Moving on to the West. The Astros still look like one of the best teams in baseball. 64-32, 7-3 in their last 10. Verlander looks like he's having the best year of his career at age 40.
Crazy.
And the Seattle Mariners are cooling off after that 14-game win streak.
Yeah, they got humbled a little bit by the by the Astros out of the break. They got a little sweeper there. They lost all three. J-Rod might be hurt.
I think he's okay, man. He's got some wrist thing, and
Not a good look to have the guy who came out during the home run derby get hurt his first game back from the All-Star break.
Almost positive that happened during the home run derby. Almost positive that's what
They
happened.
interviewed him even during the All-Star game. He was one of the guys that was mic'd up. He was like, yeah, I was a little sore when I got up this morning.
Yeah, he did something.
Come on, J-Rod. You're supposed to be the ambassador for having fun, for doing things like the home run derby. We can't have you getting hurt right after. Not a good look for baseball. Not a good look for the Mariners. They are struggling. They're they're down 1-0 to the Rangers right now. That's a series they have to have because they end up playing Houston again later this week in another big series for them. They got a tough schedule coming up. It'll be a good test. They go
still sneaking around that wild card though.
Oh, of course. They go Astros, Yankees, Angels. So and then Yankees again. So This is going to be a big couple of weeks for the Mariners to see what kind of team they are, see if they are for real. They can keep up the hype that they've had the last couple weeks.
Rangers coming in at third, 20 games back from the Astros. Wow, that is incredible in third place. 43-51, 3-7 in their last 10. I mean, the Rangers are kind of what I expected them to be. They made these deals, and I didn't think they were well put together. But I mean, we're gonna get into this. But I heard from a little bird that they're buying at the break.
What kind of bird told you that?
The one that doesn't fly, apparently. But my guess,
I wouldn't put it past the Rangers to be that delusional, but that's interesting for sure. We can get into that a little later.
Want to make a push, and I guess they don't want to get rid of basically anybody.
Hey, that wild card's fairly open in the AL. We talked about it a couple weeks ago with that 6-game cutoff. There's still a lot of teams hanging around there. A lot of teams who could make a run for it in the second half in the American League.
And it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a team do this that looks like they're out of it and kind of creep back into it. If they can get hot in this early second half, there's a lot of baseball left.
A lot of baseball left.
Angels are a dumpster fire.
I don't want to talk about them.
And the Oakland A's can just, I'm surprised they're even a baseball organization at this point.
You see they made Paul Blackburn catch a ride with the Astros to the All-Star game because they were going to fly him coach.
They're going to fly him coach. What is this? What have we come to? All-Stars are flying coach. Can you imagine that if you were sitting on that plane?
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, honestly, if Paul Blackburn was sitting next to me, I would have no idea that was him. It would just look like another bearded redhead that was sitting next to me.
Maybe that's why they're like, yeah, he can get away with it. Whatever. Send him to fucking. We'll send him to LA.
30 games back from that division. That's insane.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah. I wish that their future was brighter, but I don't even think they have that great of a farm system. So we'll revisit when they're the Las Vegas Athletics in a couple of years and see where they're at.
I mean, I'm looking at this A's team, and I might be dead before they have a good team again.
They need just Billy Bean's not walking through that door, dude.
Oh my God, we will. No.
Sabermetrics and stats have already been discovered. They're gonna need to fucking think of something else. What if they go back, dude? What if they just start just drafting guys and signing guys just purely based off of like old school scouting?
Oh, like normal baseball? Okay.
Like this guy's got he's really nice. Let's sign him. Oh, he's got a beautiful swing. He hits 180 and doesn't hit any home runs, but he's got a good-looking swing. He could put it together.
I have a huge solution for the A's.
Let's hear it.
Start taking steroids again. You guys were really good when you were on steroids, so...
yeah, there you go. Athletics, stop using advanced stats and give everybody steroids. You're welcome. Welcome back to relevance.
I for sure want to see Tony Kemp just absolutely shredded, weighing 250. I think it'd be the funniest shit ever.
Oh, man.
My God.
Yeah, get Mark McGwire back in the building. That's what they need. Jose Canseco's fucking crazy ass back in there. That'll fire up the boys.
Miguel Tejada. Who else did steroids for them? There's a million of them, probably.
Anybody who played on that 89 or whatever year it was team.
Eric Chavez probably did too.
Giambi.
Giambi for sure.
Both of them.
Both of them. Yeah. R.I.P. How about that National League, Taylor?
Yeah, sorry about the A's tangent. National League, your New York Mets continue to win baseball games. Braves are sticking around, only 2 games back, both 6-4 in their last 10. Phillies are hanging around too, 9 games out of first place Mets. They are currently in the third wild card position right now, behind the Cardinals again. But they're firmly in the picture. I know you were going to get to it, but I know you got a lot to say on the Phillies. They're a very interesting team coming up here, seeing what they're going to do. They're going to get Bryce Harper back. They've got talent. They just need to put it together. They're in a position to maybe make some noise come September, October. That's a team I could see that gets hot and makes their way into the playoffs, playing good ball. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. The Marlins I'm officially ready to call the Miami Marlins dead, unfortunately, as much as I like that team this year. And I love Sandy, but he needs some more help. They are 14 games behind the Mets and a solid 6 games back of the last wild card position.
I mean, Jazz going on the 60-day does not help you at all.
That's them throwing in the towel, I think. We talked about that in the emergency room. They had to make a decision on him if they were going to play through it or let him fully heal, and they've clearly decided, hey, we're not going to be that team this year, so let's let our young guy heal up, which I think is probably the right move.
And I'm, shocked, too, with this Marlins team. It's just, every pitcher besides Sandy and Pablo Lopez is just getting hurt.
Yeah, and Max Meyer came up, got rocked, and then got hurt.
Luzardo still out.
Yeah.
Edward Cabrera still out. No one knows what's going on with Sixto Sanchez. Just add him up. Oh, Trevor Rogers just non-existent anymore. It's incredible. They have such good talent, and it's sad to see all these guys go down. But I'm still a Marlins fan. I still got you in my heart, and I think you're right there.
Next year, Miami. Next year is your year. All 200 of your fans.
Again, take steroids. You guys will be great.
NL Central. Brewers looking good coming out of the break. Took 3 out of 4 against the Rockies. We won't talk about what happened tonight. Tonight is Monday night.
We lost.
Almost got no hit by the Colorado Rockies. Anyways, we're up 2.5 games against the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals interesting, man. They're struggling a little bit. You got Arenado calling out the front office, wanting them to make a little bit of a move at the break. We've got Arenado and Goldie not traveling to Toronto. That's a huge win for us.
Yeah, huge win for the Brewers there. Hopefully they can Toronto's hot too, so hopefully we can get going. Who do we got? We got the fucking Twins.
Yes, we do. We have the Twinkies and the Red Sox this weekend. Sammy's going to be there.
Goddamn right, baby.
I'm jealous as fuck.
Can't wait, dude. Going Friday, Saturday. About to see historic Fenway.
It's on the bucket list. I'm going to get there one day.
Shitty glory. I've heard mixed reviews.
Oh, I heard it's like Wrigley. It's a shithole, but if you're a baseball fan, you got to do it.
I have to do it.
So much.
And we're going to 2.
Just to see the monster. That's
great. It's a little cutting into my bank account this next weekend, but,
I
definitely
can only imagine. I think Boston was actually some report came out that I saw on Twitter last week that Boston was they had the average cost to go to an MLB game, and Boston was literally the highest.
It wasn't bad. I think we paid probably $100 a ticket.
Yeah, I think the average the average ticket price for Boston was $70-something.
Yeah, I had a deal. No free ad, but Game Time. Game Time had some great deals, so I went through them. So that was good.
Nice. Shout out Arizona was the cheapest, by the way. So yeah, at least we may have a shitty team, but at least we can go watch some baseball for cheap.
Damn right.
NL West, the Dodgers.
Oh yeah, Pittsburgh, Cubs, and Reds suck.
Fuck them.
But we'll get into that.
Yeah, they're all selling. We'll talk about
NL
that
Central is definitely a 2-man race right there.
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing that scares me is the Cardinals statistically have the easiest record left in all of baseball because I think they play the Pirates and the Cubs and the Reds 3 times each, 3 separate series. I feel like that's all they're playing in the second half. So Brewers are going to need to keep winning ball games to stay on top of the Central. But we will go to the NL West. The Dodgers, they're good. We know this.
Number 1 team in baseball, technically.
Yeah, they are back as the number 1 team in baseball. The Padres.
What is going on with the Padres?
I can't figure them out, man.
I don't understand.
They're 4-6 in the last 10. They look great at times. Then they just look like the worst team in baseball, and they shouldn't be. They're still in the second wild card spot right now. They look like they're going to be a postseason team. I don't see how they're not. they were talking on Sunday Night Baseball last night about how close Tatis is to coming back. So you're basically getting an all-star back in the middle of July, August. That's a huge boost for them.
When I watch them, I feel like they're playing for the wild card. Like, they're just like, yeah, we're not good enough to do anything else. So
12 games behind the Dodgers now, which is crazy.
It's almost like if we see the Cardinals win, okay, we have to win now. They lose, we're like, we'll take the night off. It's just like, it's very weird.
I wonder if that's it, because yes, they are night and day teams when I watch them play. But yeah, they're another team. Reports are that they're going to be very aggressive at the deadline, and they have some money, so that will be interesting to see what the Padres do. And another team that's kind of been in a lot of the trade rumors recently as buyers, the San Francisco Giants, who are 48-47, 3 games behind the Phillies for that final wild card spot right now.
I have a lot to say about the Giants because I think they should be buyers.
Yeah.
But I also think they don't have a lot to give up.
Yeah, that's fair.
They have some minor league talent, but let's think about it. Their number one prospect is a shortstop.
Yeah.
Brandon Crawford is not playing 10 more years for you to develop another shortstop.
What do you mean? Yeah, he is. He hit 330 last year.
Yeah. So hey, Franmil Reyes hit 40 last year.
Fuck, he sucks, dude. God. I'm glad I traded his ass.
I mean, he's not playing forever, and they have the young talent that they need to stay competitive in the years to come. So I don't know what the Giants can do because I look at their roster, and I don't think you can get rid of anyone that's currently on the team to go get somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, Joey Bart's name is still floating around. I mean, we'll talk about Juan Soto, but he was a name that was thrown around in a bunch of the Soto deals that I saw going with the Giants. But, I mean, he's obviously a great prospect. He's been struggling since he's gotten a shot in the big leagues this year. But, yeah, I mean, Giants are another team. I don't know. They're in that weird spot where they could be buyers and it would make sense. They could also say, you know what, this isn't our year. Let's start selling some of these guys like Belt, Crawford, before they have nothing left and kind of start a little mini rebuild. But
Rockies doing their thing.
Yeah, Rockies and D-backs are still here. They're still playing baseball. The D-backs are they have one of the hardest remaining schedules in the National League because, of course, they end up playing the Dodgers and the Padres a bunch. And I think that they might be a little bit of a spoiler to a couple teams like down the stretch. That could be a series, whether it's the Padres, whether it's the Giants. I know they play the NL Central a couple times still. Like the Brewers got to go to Arizona in September. Like that could be a series that you chalk up as a win for your team, and then you go in there and the D-backs take 2 out of 3 against you, and you're looking, oh shit, we lost 2 games in the standings. They got good young guys. Dude. I'm excited for the D-backs.
Dude, I agree with you, but I think they're selling.
They need to get rid of guys like David Peralta, my boy, the Freight Train, Christian Walker, anybody like that to make some room for these young guys.
But that's what I think is going to hurt them is you're going to be too young at one point and you are going to lose these games. And I think they are going to be last in the West, unfortunately, Arizona.
Yeah, I agree with that. Colorado's actually playing pretty good.
Colorado's okay. They won tonight. Good for you. It's great having Chris Bryant back for you Rockies. He's been doing Chris Bryant things.
Yeah. Shout out CJ Cron striking out 5 times in the extra inning games.
Yeah, that was sick.
I don't know what you call that. It's not a golden sombrero.
But it's definitely Angels, Padres, Giants are fighting, but I don't think they get there in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I still think that the NL...
I would put my money on the Phillies more than I would the Giants.
Some team can definitely come play spoiler and get hot 100%, but I think the wild card is the loser of the NL Central, the Braves, and the Phillies. No. The loser of the Central, the Braves, and the Padres.
Oh, you mean like second place in the Central?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I agree.
So that would leave the Phillies out, but that's a team that I definitely could see could play spoiler to the Cardinals, the Brewers, the Padres if they start struggling.
I agree.
It's really only that first wild card spot that's a lock right now, and that's going to be the Mets or the Braves.
Yeah. Yep. 100% agreed.
Well, You want to get into? We've already talked about it slightly, going with our around the horn. But you want to start talking about some trades? You got some hot takes. I want to hear them.
I got a list. All right.
I have a little bit of a list too.
I thought about this thoroughly. I felt it in my Johnson today.
Stephen A. Smith over here.
I felt it in my Johnson today.
Max, I have been thinking about this for the last 48 hours.
Mine was more like 6 hours. For like a good hour and a half, I only thought about it, though. All right, you want to hear it?
Yeah, what do you got?
Number one, Shohei will not be traded.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I think they've made it pretty clear. They're going to... I don't know what they're going to do this offseason, but they're going to make one more go of it with Shohei and Trout.
It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to get rid of one of the best players in baseball.
I think he's going to turn into a Soto situation, but that's going to be next year.
I think you're right.
Obviously, if the Angels are struggling next year at the deadline, he's going to be the number one name that's going to get traded because they're going to want to get something for him before he walks.
If this was this time next year, 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
But we are in 2022, not 2023.
Unless Shohei is happy living in LA and being on a mediocre team and he just re-signs with them, or tells them he's going to re-sign with them and they keep him. But I don't see that happening. I think Shohei is going somewhere else.
I mean, there are a lot. Asian culture is huge in California. I don't know how hot it is in Atlanta or anywhere else. So
he's got to go to San Francisco.
Anywhere on the California coast, probably. Okay, number two, and I will explain this.
Okay.
Juan Soto will be a St. Louis Cardinal. You heard it here first.
We just watched him. Did he just hit a triple? I think he did. What timing?
Wow.
Yeah, he just hit a fucking triple as you said that.
Soto will be a Cardinal, and I will explain why. The Nationals asked for MLB-ready players, prospects, and to take over Corbin's deal.
I really I don't think this is that hot of a take. I kind of
it's not.
I unfortunately agree with you that the Cardinals are gonna destroy their future, but you get Juan Soto, which I think is worth it.
But I think I'm going off of what the rumors are and who's been in the mix.
Yes.
And so I'm picking them. So it's not really a hot take. It's more of these are my takes.
You're
for
calling
the trade
it
right now. I'm calling my shot.
Soto is going to be a St. Louis Cardinal.
I'm Babe Ruth pointing to the fucking center field wall, baby. Here's why. Nolan Gorman, ready.
Yep.
Liberatore looks ready.
Yep.
He still needs a little bit more time, I think, but he looks ready.
He's 22. I didn't realize that.
Yes, he's 22.
Young.
They have, I think, 4 top 100 prospects.
Yep.
And in the Cardinals' head, they are so good at developing players,
and they are,
that they don't give a flying fuck because they're in their head, and I agree with them too.
Yeah.
Is that they can rebuild without completely rebuilding.
I fully agree with you. And they've shown it in the past. I mean, they've traded their young guys who they thought were going to, they've traded Tommy Pham. They've traded Harrison Bader. They've gotten rid of some young guys who have came up, produced for them for a year, half a year, and then they said, see ya.
Bader's still on the team, Taylor.
The fuck? Who am I thinking of?
I don't know. But think about it. Yepes.
You're right. He's definitely on.
Yepes, still from their system.
Who am I thinking of?
Donovan.
Yeah.
Still on their system.
I fully agree. That was one of the trades I saw, and that makes the most sense. Yeah, it was Gorman, Yepes, Donovan, Liberatore, and a couple of picks, I believe.
It was prospects.
One of the other prospects or something.
Definitely can take over Corbin's deal.
Yeah.
And if not, dump him. Whatever.
And it's the Cardinals, so them fucking Corbin will come over and start producing.
And the other thing is they need another pitcher.
Yeah.
That's what they've been telling.
Nats just went back on the IL deal.
Exactly.
Whatever.
They need another pitcher. It's kind of a great situation. And out of every single deal that I've seen, this one made the most sense if I'm a Nationals front office guy.
Dude, you're getting 4 very good starting players right now who are all under the age of 24.
And not even that, but also 2 of them are already been in the major leagues for the past 2 months.
You throw them in with,
And the other guys are coming up ready to go.
yeah, you throw them in with Keibert Ruiz, and I mean they got a couple guys I think in their system, but that's a team that could be solid in a year or two for sure.
I really think it's either that or they're not getting rid of Soto.
Yeah,
they're just going to do something wild in the offseason or something crazy, but I mean, it makes the most sense for me.
Yeah, I saw obviously was the other team, the Giants, I think, or the other team that was in the mix, and that was, I was telling you, there was a deal I saw floating around with like Joey Bart and a bunch of their prospects.
The thing is, I looked at their prospects. They're fine. I don't think they're ready for a little bit, and they kind of want guys now. And I don't think Joey Bart's ready yet. And plus, you still have Keibert Ruiz.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing that I didn't understand.
It didn't make sense. What are you going to do? You could throw him at first if that means you're going to trade Bell, which they will.
They better.
And we're getting into that, but that was my take. All right, number 3. I have a lot here. We're going to go.
Hang on. I got one more Soto.
Okay, hit me.
Since this is the biggest story right now, dude. I personally would like to see him go to the Padres. That was the other team that was floating around. That
I saw that one too. They definitely need an outfielder.
Him, Machado, Tatis.
But I don't think they have the manpower in the minor league system to be giving them to him.
Yeah, that was the thing. I didn't actually see I haven't seen a deal put together that makes sense.
I know C.J. Abrams would be involved.
Yeah, they do. He's technically an MLB ready prospect.
Gore would have to be involved.
Yeah, probably.
And then a couple other ones, but it kind of dies after those 2, I feel like.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad situation to have Mackenzie Gore, who looks like he's going to be a great pitcher for years to come.
Yeah.
C.J. Abrams, maybe.
Yeah.
Very unknown right now.
Yeah.
But he's got the talent for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But if it's right now, I think you got to go with players that you've seen and their capabilities, and I think it's the Cardinals.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Obviously, but I saw the Padre one too.
Yankees and Dodgers. No. You can never count out the Yankees and Dodgers.
Dodgers would probably ruin their entire life if they did that.
It doesn't matter. They still always have fucking guys coming up in their system, I feel like. Just like the Cardinals.
Dodgers,
but
whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you. Cardinals make the most sense. We'll see. I still think if I had to bet money, I still think he stays in Washington maybe one more year.
Could very well happen.
Maybe
Absolutely.
another, but I don't, because the other thing is, I don't think a team, I don't know. I'll pose the question to you. Do you think it's worth a team like the Cardinals to make a deal for Soto and give up that amount of value if it's not a guarantee that he's going to re-sign with you in 2 years?
Like, but that's 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, do you think that's worth it still for 2 years of Soto for all those guys?
Absolutely. Soto is 23 years old.
Yeah, I mean, that's why a team like the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Mets kind of makes sense, because that's one where you make the trade and then you just, like, kind of what the Braves did with Matt Olson, where you make the trade and then you just extend him right away.
I haven't looked at the Cardinals, budget, but
they've shown that they're.
I
mean,
feel
they're
like
willing
they can.
to spend.
I feel like they can do it.
Yeah,
it's the Cardinals.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be the first time we've seen this happen.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked if he's signing with them, especially if you have Paul Goldschmidt, who is looking like he's going to win MVP this year.
Yeah, he's
and Nolan
Arenado in his
Arenado,
last 4 games,
who is once in a lifetime generational third baseman.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals already scared me as a Brewers fan. If they can put it together, I still think they're a super talented team. And yeah, I mean, even if you get rid of all those guys for fucking Juan Soto, that heart of the lineup, dude, you could go up there having to face Soto, Arenado, and Goldschmidt 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, and for the Brewers' sake, who just give up the most home runs I think I've ever seen in my entire life, that's not okay. And I'm very scared. So I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But if I am, and this is literally from a baseball fan perspective and not a Brewer fan, I would take the deal if you're willing to deal Soto right now, I'm taking the Cardinals deal.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, moving on. A Royal will be a Yankee.
Okay.
And it will be a Royal outfielder.
Benintendi?
I'm saying Benintendi, possibly. He's probably the hottest guy on the market right now.
Besides Soto.
Well, besides Soto, but Soto's asking price is so big that I think
That's fair.
people
as far as
want
traditional.
people want
trades.
Benintendi if they're going for an outfielder because of his average, and it's not as a high asking price.
Yeah.
And the other one is Michael Taylor.
Sure.
Both of them, or one of them, not both, one of them will be a Yankee by next Tuesday. Okay?
I don't disagree with that either.
Okay, you like that one? Okay, good.
I like it. I if I had to pick where Benintendi's going, I think it's New York. They need a third outfielder.
Mm-hmm.
He's having a great year.
Mm-hmm. The only issue is that I really am curious to see, and I will get into this right now, but they're asking that whatever deal they do, that Joey Gallo's involved. And who the fuck wants that guy? You're still in my hole, Joey.
Yeah, dude, that might be one they just fucking DFA as soon as they trade for him and just say, see ya.
Luis Castillo
Yes, another big name.
will be a Yankee.
Again, don't hate it. I mean, I
think
hate
he will
it.
be a
I hate
Yankee.
it in my soul, but I don't hate that. I mean, I agree with you. I think that's a logical landing spot for him as well.
I think they need it. I love their starting rotation right now, but I think Castillo really makes you a number one kind of competitor in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Especially like after Garrett Cole, Nestor can throw in there, especially because the playoffs are wild because you can go 3 days and you can throw your number one out there again.
Yeah.
So,
You
need a
solid
solid
3.
2.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
So, and Castillo has been looking like he could be that guy.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, the Dodgers
we'll
have been in play for him. The Astros I've seen are in play for him a lot. They, again, not that the Dodgers need help, but I mean, the Astros make sense. They need somebody else besides Verlander, and
Yep.
they've got another guy who's pitching very well out there
Bomber.
right now. Yes. Yeah, they need a solid 3 right there, and that makes sense. But I still think the Yankees are the most willing to go. I think the Yankees know, and we can talk about this later, but I think the Yankees know Aaron Judge is gone after this year, so I think they're going to be willing to go all in this year.
Wow, you think so?
Dude, did you see the interview he had at the All-Star game, red carpet?
I saw it, but I also just feel like he's
where he
saying
got bombarded by the reporter
but
asking what he was going to say to
he's just saying that to get them away or whatever, like kind of keeping people
straight
on
up-
his toes.
She straight up asked him, what do you say to this little kid who comes home crying every day because Aaron Judge might not be a Yankee next year? And his response was, well, buddy, there's lots of other Yankees to root for. That's not saying, kid, I'm fucking gone after this year.
It's not saying he's not, though. I mean,
I would be shocked.
he's just
if
saying,
he
like, hey,
stays.
kid, maybe cheer for my boy Stanton. I don't know.
He's been very not, like,
He's focused on the game, Taylor.
but he's clearly, like, it's so easy.
He's chasing 6'2".
It would be so easy for him to just say, you know what? Whatever Jacob, I think was the made up kid's name. You know what, Jacob? I'm focused on this year. I'm going to try to bring New York a World Series this year, and we're going to try to win some games. But he goes, yeah, buddy, there's other guys to root for. You might not be seeing me next year. Like, there's just no need for it. And he's done that a couple times now where, like, it's so easy to brush those questions off and just be like, oh, I'm focused on this year. But he doesn't say that.
We'll see. Otani
Yeah,
and Judge
I
could
think
be
that
crazy.
the Yankees are going all in this year. I could see them definitely. I mean, Benintendi, Castillo, and any of the other pitchers out there that might like.
Here's a weird one,
Okay.
but I just have a weird feeling about this one. Wilson Contreras is going to be an Astro.
I like that. I mean,
I think it's
Again?
we always have one of those weird ones that kind of come out of the blue.
yeah,
And I was looking at everybody, and if the Astros want to compete against the Yankees
yeah,
or everybody, their weakest point is, one, I guess you can add another starter, but two is you have zero catcher.
yeah.
Maldonado is not it, and
No.
Wilson Contreras adds a huge bat for you guys,
Yeah.
and makes you guys even more deadlier than you are. So I just have a weird feeling about it. I don't know why. I know there's other teams besides that, but I just have this weird feeling.
I think that's the best fit. The only other team I could see if they really want to make a big splash is the other team in New York, the Mets. They have a pretty big hole at catcher right now. That would be a huge move. They also have a bunch of MLB ready prospect guys that they could send over to the Cubs.
Yep.
That would be a huge get for them. But yeah, I mean, the Astros make a lot of sense. Padres are also in that mix. I saw a tweet from one of their reporters that they're going to be
How many catchers can you have on
apparently
the
very
Padres? My
aggressive
goodness.
at the deadline. So, and
Who, the Padres?
yeah, and they've been in talks with Contreras and the Cubs already. So
I got a couple Padres takes on here.
let's see. What do you think? What do you got? What do you got for the Padres?
Let me look down my list.
Like I said, I
They're
just
far
saw a
down.
report that they were, quote, going to be very aggressive at the deadline. But
Oh.
that could just be the reporter spewing bullshit for the team. But
Here's two. I got two right here.
let's hear 'em.
Tommy Pham
Yep,
back to the Padres,
that would be nice.
and also I think Ian Happ might be a
That's
Padre.
another name, yeah.
Ian
Yeah.
Happ, I think, will be a Padre or a Brave. I have down here.
Yeah, that makes sense. They just lost Duval. They definitely need some depth in their outfield.
Those are the biggest kind of thing that I kind of saw. But okay, going back to my list, CJ Cron will not be traded.
No.
He's been brought up in the past couple days, and I just don't think it makes sense
I don't-
because of how much first base is like occupied everywhere. Like
Yeah.
it could make sense somewhere, maybe the Astros, but
Yeah.
if they strike out on, let's say, Contreras,
I just don't think that the
could be.
Rockies
I don't think they're gonna do it.
are
Yeah.
gonna sell. I think the Rockies, in their mind, like their team and like their roster where it's at, and
I think they're neutral. They're neutral.
Yeah.
They're not gonna do shit. Yeah.
Nah, I'm with you. But yeah, I have seen his name floating around too. It doesn't make much sense to me.
I don't think the Pirates will trade Reynolds.
Yeah.
I don't see the point. I understand that they have a lot of young outfielders,
Yeah.
but he's also fucking good.
Oh, he's very good.
And if you want to like continue to what you're doing, I don't think this is the year to sell him yet.
Yeah. I think it comes down to how far away do the Pirates think they are. If they don't think they're more than a year or two away, then yeah, it definitely makes sense to keep him. Not get rid of him. I mean, I'm not 100% sure in his contract situation, but I don't think he's like an impending free agent or anything at the end of the season.
No, he could be one of the late ones, like later in the week that like people strike out on. They're like, fuck, we need a outfielder.
Yeah.
Maybe. Could be a Padre, could be a Brave. If those guys strike out on some stuff, it's very possible, but I just don't really see him moving.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't.
That's fair.
Trey Mancini will be a Met.
Ooh. I don't think the Orioles are selling, dude.
I think, did you see the clip today?
No.
Mancini came out today and said, I'm playing these last 4 games as though they're my last as an Oriole.
Interesting.
So I think he thinks that he's going to be traded. The Orioles are shopping him, and I think he might be a Met. He can play first and outfield.
He'd be a great get for the Mets. I mean,
It'd be great to have him as a DH
Yep.
because he can hit lefties a lot better than Vogelbach can.
Yep.
So I really think that they switch those two in and out. And let's say like somebody needs a break in the outfield, Mancini
Yeah.
can go check that outfield spot. Like it makes sense to me, as well as the DH position for them to kind of flip flop them with Vogelbach.
Yeah.
So I think Trey Mancini is going to be a Met.
Yeah. If he gets traded, that's a very logical situation. I don't know.
Either I'm a genius or you're literally just agreeing with everything I'm saying.
No, everything you're saying is making sense. Again, if gun to my head, I don't think the Orioles are going to trade Trey Mancini, but
Should you want me to put a gun to your head?
yeah, I'll tell you that they're not going to trade Trey Mancini, but you're making a lot of sense with where you think some of these people are going to land. Absolutely.
Here's my favorite one. And we already talked to you about this.
Yes, I think I know where you're going.
Josh Bell will be a Milwaukee Brewer by next week's end.
Bring him to Milwaukee.
Came out yesterday. The Brewers have a deal on the table in the Nationals front office as we speak.
All the Nationals got to do is go to that little tab on the top right corner of your fantasy league, look at the trade offer, and hit accept.
That's all they need to do, all right? And unlike our fantasy rosters, those stats count right away. So let's get it on, Nationals. Seriously.
Yeah, us and the Astros, I think, were the other team that had an offer in. Was that what it was?
They need a first baseman,
Yeah.
and it's fairly possible. I think it makes more sense for the Brewers. I don't know the Astros farm system as well. I don't think it's as good as ours, but that might be
Yeah,
biased.
Brewers got some bats that they could sell. Get rid of one or two of them.
It's curious to see what they want, since if
Yeah.
they're going to trade Soto for ready players, if they're
Yeah.
not going to trade Soto for ready players, that means they could go looking for prospects, or they could be looking for ready players from the Astros. Who knows? But I would love to see Josh Bell, switch hitter, average power, decent first base, flip-flopping him around between him and Rowdy. Rowdy at DH. Love it. Put McCutcheon in the outfield. That's fine with me. We need a bat. Let's go. Let's get aggressive.
I'm with you. I think I would love it. I would love that for sure as a Brewers fan.
So I brought this up earlier, but the Rangers declared that they are going to be buyers.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could come up with that makes a little bit of sense is Brandon Drury will be a Ranger.
Okay.
They have no third baseman.
Yeah.
Josh Smith is their starting third baseman right now. He's batting 160.
Yeah, Brandon Drury is one of the only other names that we really haven't touched on.
There's really no other third baseman, right? Can you think of any?
No.
I
No,
can't
not
think
right
of
now.
any. They have a okay outfield. Seager, Simeon, round out that infield. Go get Brandon Drury.
Yeah.
He can be re-signed. I think he has said and looks like he's figured it out somewhat, that, he could be a guy that pushes you guys, closer and closer to that wild card.
He's a name that's not going to make a huge splash when he gets traded. It's not going to be like,
No, not at all.
huge news, but he's
The
going
Reds are
to
definitely selling.
He's going to go to a contender, and he's
Yeah.
going to be a huge piece of that team taking the next step, making the playoffs in October, what they can do, because he's having a great year.
It's funny that this one's kind of like, I feel like we're 50-50 on this one. But the only reason I put this is because I just feel like this is a total Ranger move. It makes zero sense, but it does at the same time.
Yeah, it makes sense because it doesn't make sense.
And that's what the Rangers do. So
I can't. Yeah, I mean, if they're going to be buyers, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know who else you go get. Like, as far as not making a huge splash, like
the most random organization besides
they could
the
go out
Chicago
and
Cubs.
try to get us like some pitching, I guess. Like some of the other names that we haven't touched on, like Frankie Montas is probably going to get a big return for the Oakland Athletics.
He's on my list. Yeah, that's what I came up with for Brandon Drury, because I know he's being shopped around a ton. If the Cardinals don't get Soto, Noah Syndergaard will be a Cardinal.
Ooh, damn. I don't know if the Angels are going to give him up. I don't know what the Angels want to do. I don't know if they know what they want to do.
Hey, man, these are just takes. I'm just giving my takes.
Yeah.
This is what I heard around the wire. My little bird with no wings told me. All right? I'm saying Noah Syndergaard's on the market, and I think he might be a Cardinal.
They need a pitcher.
Need a pitcher.
Saying that the Cardinals are going to get a starter at the deadline would make a lot of sense.
Only thing that other made sense was the Astros, and I don't think that the Cardinals will trade in that division. I mean, the Angels.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't.
Dude, Taylor is speechless, people. I must be
You're just
doing
making
something
too
right.
much sense.
I must be doing something right. My 1.5 hour of just blocking down makes sense, people. Listen to me. And if I get most of these correct,
because I'm looking at
no
other
one can give me
starters.
shit anymore, because I know what I'm talking about. And if I'm completely wrong, hey, at least I fucking tried.
Like Bum is the other name that's floating around there as a starter. Like Chad Kuhl from the Rockies. Like there's really not a ton of starting pitching besides those three guys. Like you just said, the Rangers are going to be buyers apparently, because Martin Perez is another name that's out there for a quick
Came out today
deadline.
Came out today that they are not selling Perez.
So that literally leaves Frankie Montas, Luis Castillo, Bumgarner, Greinke.
Sure. I definitely don't want Greinke.
My heart can't take Zach Greinke in a Cardinals uniform, dude. I would cry. I would cry. I love him too much.
So if the Yankees blow anything with Benintendi or whatever they need for the outfield, David Peralta will be a Yankee.
I had that written down. He makes sense.
It makes total sense. They need him, and I think he would be a great fit in New York.
He would be so sexy in those pinstripes.
Absolutely, dude. And I think he's that guy that would be, he's a clutch hitter.
I want that for him.
I want that for him too. David Peralta.
The freight train.
I hope you're in New York, baby.
The freight train in New York in October. Give him a chance. Give him a, I love that one. I had that written down.
Phillies. You need a bullpen. You need something to help your team out late in innings.
And lucky for them.
I think they're going after David Roberts.
There's a couple guys, yeah.
David Roberts from the Cubs.
Yep.
And David Bednar.
Sure.
From the Pirates.
Daniel Bard from the Rockies as well.
Sure, Bard, throw him in there. But I think Roberts and Bednar. Roberts looks like he's a stud.
Yeah, he's been pitching very well.
If he would have played most of the season, I probably would have been an all-star.
Yeah.
Bednar was an all-star. Solidified as a closer for the Pirates. Not a great team. I think if you put him on the Phillies, he can go out there and he gives me basically like nasty closer vibes. Like he'll be like that snare, just like a dirty old, like, I don't know, somebody you meet in a bar. They're just like, I don't fuck with that guy. That would be David Bednar coming in the ninth inning for the Phillies, and I would be scared shitless. So
yeah. I mean, Matt Moore out in Texas is another name that's on the board. There always is. There's lots of relievers that you can get for fairly cheap.
But wouldn't you want somebody that actually fucking does something? Like, you really want to take a risk on Matt Moore?
No, I think
I
think Robertson and Bednar are the two best for sure.
I saw Fulmer was in the chase too, who's been
Andrew
okay for the Tigers.
But like a lot of the Tigers.
Do you trust that? I don't trust that. Go after what you know and who's been doing well this season. They obviously have figured something out.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
If you're the Phillies, don't take a risk. You need to win now, especially since you don't have Harper right now. And if you do and you're in it, by the time he comes back, watch the fuck out.
Yeah.
Phillies Nation, stand up.
Alex Colomb from the Rockies as well.
Yep.
Basically, the whole Rockies and Tigers bullpen is available if you want them, but...
You literally just said that the Rockies probably won't do anything.
Well, get rid of a reliever. Getting rid of a reliever and then getting rid of C.J. Cron are two different things.
Very true. Okay. The White Sox are White Sox.
Ooh.
The White Sox will be buyers, number one. And if I am them, I'm going to get an outfielder.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a relief pitcher.
Sure.
That's all I have to say. I don't care who they are, but you need somebody that is consistent in your outfield besides, you know...
They could use like Whit Merrifield or something too, like who can play second, who can play outfield, just like a utility bat that's actually going to do something.
That's fine, but they just don't know what's going on in right field right now, and they need to
Hap would be a great, just fucking keep him in Chicago. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, any of those, like, I think Chicago's going to be one of those teams where they're not going to be aggressive, but when it comes to the end of it, they might take a relook and be like, okay, who's still out there?
Yeah.
Who's still out there that can help us out?
Some of these guys that we've mentioned that are not huge names, but guys that are having great seasons and are going to produce.
Absolutely.
Dude, what if they went for Soto? That'd be fucking Soto and Tim Anderson with Tony La Russa in Chicago.
Fucking, that would be such a White Sox move, but I don't think they do it. I don't think they have it.
I literally think they have the worst ranked farm system in the.
They don't have the
right
fucking
now,
ball. Yeah, they don't have the balls. They do not have the balls.
They don't have the prospects.
They don't have the cojones.
Or the cojones.
I'm almost done. A's are trading everybody. Very expected.
Yeah.
See ya. I don't even give a fuck where, but they're gone. Murphy, Montez, gone.
Yeah.
All of them gone.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting one. I would love to hear your take.
Hit me.
The White Sox are going to sell.
You just said they were going to buy an outfielder and a second baseman.
I'm sorry, the Red Sox. I'm still in the White Sox fandom right now. Red Sox are going to sell.
I have that written down.
Red Sox are going to sell, and this is going to kill me.
Yeah, I love that team.
But the Red Sox are trading JD Martinez to the Dodgers.
It makes sense.
Total sense.
He's on the final year of his deal.
Yep.
Xander Bogaerts on the final year of his deal.
I don't think they get rid of Bogaerts.
If you're not going to re-sign him, what are you doing hanging on to him?
I don't know, but I don't think you can just rebuild around fucking Devers.
He just got put on the IL, unfortunately, too. Which, again, yeah, I mean, That's something I've seen floating around a little bit too. Is they might be selling. They have the pieces to sell for sure. If they want to say fuck it and blow this team up, I would hate it, but it kind of makes sense. I mean, I still think that they have a lineup and a team that could put it together and make some noise in the AL, and they're not that far out of it. You know, they were just in the playoff picture. I mean, they're still in the picture. They were just literally in the playoffs.
But you're not re-signing JD Martinez. Wouldn't you rather re-sign Xander Bogaerts?
Yeah.
You can't do both.
I know. That's their issue. And that's why I've seen that floating around, and I don't hate that at all.
God, Taylor, you're just kind of turning me on right now. I'm just agreeing with everything I'm saying.
You're just talking sense for once in your life.
I found Trout.
I found Trout. Get the fuck out of here.
Frankie is going to be an Astro or a Blue Jay.
Oh.
I think the Blue Jays have some pieces, and I think they can go after this kid and go get him. And they need another arm to kind of just be safe. You don't need anything else. They're good everywhere else. But I think they need, if somebody goes down, let's say, or if somebody is not performing as well as they should be, Jose Barrios, although he had that 14 strikeouts or whatever the other day.
Yeah.
But it's just stuff like that where it's like, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily need him, but if they're going to push, they might.
I like him going to the Astros. I mean, the Astros they're going to get one. They're going to get a arm.
They have to.
It's which one they want to go get.
Dude, Jake Odorizzi is their number 5.
Right. Like, they're going to go get a starting pitcher.
Yeah.
So all these guys it's going to be one of them, which is also why I think a couple of these guys might not be on the move, because once a domino or two falls, like once the Astros get their guy, once the Yankees get a guy, there's going to be a couple teams left out. Like, there's more than 2 or 3 starting pitchers on the market that we've already mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting. And there's always going to be surprise teams. Like,
Absolutely. Like, there's some things that I haven't even talked about.
I mean, the Giants are probably going to come out of nowhere and get a starting pitcher or a bat because they think they're still in it.
And I even brought up, I didn't even bring it up because I just don't know what they're going to do, but the Twins and Guardians,
I mentioned
who the
it
fuck
last
knows
week,
with that?
Dude.
But
I want so do something. Make a move.
Last 2. This one's just because I love to say it, but Joey Gallo will be traded. I don't give a fuck where. But it's probably going to be to the Reds in the Castillo trade.
That would be a nice place for Joey Gallo to go die.
He would fucking hit bombs to another short porch.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly certain that the, central pitching is not as strong as the AL East.
Correct.
He could have just reamp his career there.
Yeah, it'd be a good place for him.
It makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
Benintendi 3 for 5 again. He's just adding to his all.
Greinke 5 scoreless with 5 Ks. God, I miss him already.
Okay, and here's a random one, but I would if you are Atlanta, why not go for Andres Jimenez from the Guardians?
Ooh.
I don't know if they're selling. They could be random. I saw Plesac's name thrown around a little bit. Yeah, so they could be selling, but
who the fuck knows what the Guardians are going to do?
Why not put him at second base until Albies comes back and then have a 1-2 punch right there? Move some guys around.
Be in a good spot for Whit Merrifield too.
Yeah, Whit Merrifield,
he can
great
play outfield.
Too. Just somebody to kind of do, because former Brewer Orlando Arcia is just not it.
No, we know that.
Robinson Cano, not it. It's just not working, and I think you need a second baseman.
They need another bat if they're gonna really contend. Because I mean, they've lost Duvall. A couple of their guys. I mean, they obviously don't have Albies right now. A couple of their guys aren't performing like they usually do.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think the Braves are gonna make a sneaky wild move, though.
I would love it.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's what I got on my trade talks, man. So that was my hour and a half hard on that I had today thinking about this. So. What, you got anything different or wilder than me?
I think you hit on a lot of the stuff. The one topic I really wanted to bring up was the Red Sox, just because that's a personal favorite of mine, and that's such an interesting situation. They're right in the hunt, but they got all these guys who could leave after this year, and they could be just left fucking dismantled after this season with nothing in return.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
a tough choice.
I agree. It could be like Bobby Dahlbeck, could be that first baseman for the Astros that they need.
Yeah.
There's a couple of those guys that's just like, could be anybody. Obviously, you can't trade Story.
I mean, I
can't trade Devers, but
those are pretty much the only two untouchables and the guys who are under contract for him. I mean, Dodgers are probably going to make a move just because they're the Dodgers. I don't know, for another bat, for a pitcher.
I feel like they need a relief pitcher, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I don't really know what they're doing. Like, they have such good starting pitching that they really don't need it, but, like, in the playoffs, maybe.
And they've shown, like, yeah, they don't give a shit. Like, they had Urias come out of the bullpen again. What are you snapping at?
Yo, just like we were talking about before, Arizona's up 5-0 on the Giants.
Yeah, bro.
Sneaky W's.
They're going to fucking ruin a team season.
Ruin
Look
a
at
team.
that. Merrill Kelly, too. Yeah.
I think you're right, man.
We're at that point of the year where, I mean, I agree they're going to start trading guys, but, like you mentioned the Trey Mancini, to like, quote, like, these guys are going to go out there and, you know, Peralta went 2 for 2 with a double tonight, too, for the D-backs so far. Like,
they 100% know that they're on the block.
They're trying to get the fuck out of Arizona to go to a contender, just like anybody else who's playing in a shitty team who's a veteran in the league and on the block. But, yeah, no, that was Peralta going to the Yankees. I saw that. I would love that. We talked about Juan Soto a bunch. That's pretty much all I had. I was planning on going through and talking about everybody. You hit everybody that's on my radar as far as like the bigger name guys who could be moved. I don't think you missed anybody. I think your hour and a half was time well spent.
Sam Smart. Sam
knows ball.
Joey Gallo's in my hole. All right, people. Taylor, brought up the Red Sox.
I did.
What the flying fuck happened?
Well, Sam, the Red Sox had a tough series against the Blue Jays there.
What was that score again Friday night?
I believe it was 28-3.
Holy shit.
If that sounds familiar for you New England, Boston fans.
Inside the park grand slam.
Missed pop-ups left and right.
They looked like a little league team out there.
Brutal.
I couldn't believe what I was watching.
I already mentioned it, but yeah, that was the worst run differential that any team in the last 123 years.
And I've seen some crazy scores, like
123 years. That was the biggest ass whooping of a series that has happened.
Didn't the Rangers or somebody throw up like a shit ton on the Orioles one year? I mean, obviously it wasn't like that, but
yeah, it wasn't the most lopsided like game in history, but it's the most lopsided series. So that's pretty bad.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah, they are 1-9 in their last 10. We just talked about them. They might be sellers at the deadline. Who knows?
It's just like, I don't understand what happens sometimes. You know, like they started out really slow to start the season. They figured it out.
It was 28-5. My bad.
And then they lost it completely again.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, another shot on the Red Sox. Dude, Chris Sale, can you stay healthy?
Yeah,
I understand that wasn't your fault that you got hit in the hand, but my God, I don't think I've seen you pitch in 5 years.
Yeah, that's the demoralizing. And then they lost Devers as well. Yeah, their last 2 games before the All-Star break, they lost 14-1 to the Yankees, 13-2 to the Yankees. They come out of the break and lose 28-5.
Fucking A.
And then lose 4-1, and then lose 8-4.
God.
They did win today against the Guardians, so they're back, baby. Red Sox are back.
God, dude, and that's huge for our White Sox fans.
Yeah.
Huge White Sox fans. And the Brewers need to take 2 from the Twins so White Sox can get going.
Big White Sox fans.
Big White Sox fans.
Yeah. Red Sox, I apologize for any Red Sox fans.
Can't wait to see you this weekend, though.
Rough stretch. Yeah, hopefully they don't figure it out until after this weekend.
Hope no Red Sox fans listen to this by the time I go there because I might get my ass whooped. But praying that's not the case.
No.
Stay in that AL East, though. Do you think it's possible that we could be witnessing history this year? If he stays healthy.
Very possible.
Will Aaron Judge break the, I guess, real home run season record?
Well, Sam, after he hit another one today, I think, didn't he? Today or yesterday? That was after I found the stat. But I mean, he was after he went deep twice over the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
he was on pace for 61 home runs.
It is going to be wild. And we said this. We said this like a month ago.
Yeah, we were asking if he could get 60.
And we said maybe he can do it.
He
can do it.
He's kept it up.
He's kept it up. Oh my God, would that be incredible? I've seen some crazy shit in my time. I've seen no hitters. I've seen perfect games.
He's got 37.
I've seen 3,000 hits by some of the greatest baseball players of my generation. And I don't think I would be more excited than to see a home run record broken. Now, understand, people, if you are not a baseball fan like we are, technically the record is 72, but that's a little asterisk on that one because of Barry Bonds, which I can get into, but that sounds like a different day. I still think the record's 72 because Barry Bonds is one of the greatest hitters to ever play the game of baseball, but
I would agree with you.
in MLB aspects, it's an asterisk, and the record still is.
Yeah.
61, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Because McGuire beat that. McGuire took steroids. Bonds beat McGuire.
Yeah.
Bonds took steroids.
I mean, everybody.
So Aaron Judge, I hope you're not doing steroids.
That would be something. He's trying to fucking take roids just to get his value up.
But A's fans, you should definitely take steroids.
Correct.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you are correct. If we're discounting Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire, and Sammy Sosa, the record would be 61. Roger Maris for New York, and he was probably just taking straight up fucking painkillers and tequila back in 1961. So
Nah, dude, he's ripping heaters on the bench probably. Fucking all you need is a brewski and some nicotine.
yeah,
Get your juices flowing back then.
1961. Yeah, otherwise Bonds hit 73, McGuire hit 70, Sosa hit 66, McGuire hit 65, Sosa hit 64, Sosa hit 63, and then it was Maris. So
All the steroid users. Still love you, boys.
Yeah.
You all deserve to be in the Hall of Fame in my book.
Agreed. The most recent one was Ryan Howard hit 58 back in his MVP season 2006. So that would be something if Judge could even touch that. I mean, it hasn't been done in 15 years, 16 years.
Yeah, this could be crazy going down the stretch. And I might lose my mind if I watch this. I might lose track of all the competitive races that are going on. I might have to just tune in to Judge every single night.
He is on pace for a record-setting season, that is for sure.
Well, I hope to see it. That's for sure. But let's get into a segment, Taylor, one of my favorites. Wee, 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 wee. Give me something about the emergency room, Taylor. What's going on?
Well, Sam, unfortunately, we can talk about the can of corn in a minute, but my guy Rafael Devers found himself on the injured list with a hamstring strain. Another injury that's tough to predict when they'll be back. That hamstring is a little bit of a nagging injury. It can come back anytime if you're stepping out of the box, leaving first base, trying to make a play at third base. That's all it takes, a little pop. He could be out 10 days. He could be out a couple months. I think it all will, again, tie into what the Red Sox do here in the next couple of weeks over the trade deadline. If they start selling guys, I think they'll definitely take it a lot slower with Rafi if they're trying to go for it. You could see him back in the lineup as soon as about 2 weeks. I have not read or seen what kind of graded hamstring strain they're going to give this. They've been getting out less and less information recently. We were just talking about the DeGrom injury where it was like scapular inflammation, which is the weirdest diagnosis I have ever seen in my life as a medical professional. But anyways, Rafael Devers is back on the IL. And then we also touched on it in my emergency room. I have the future of baseball. Julio Rodriguez with some wrist inflammation. Just, not related to the home run derby at all. Just a coincidence that he has this after participating in the home run derby.
Just coincidence that he hit 60 home runs
and
in like 2 hours.
He meant he was like generally sore at the All-Star game after he played in it and said that he was sore on camera.
I'm fucking sore every single day. Suck my dick. Okay, what is the difference, Taylor, between like a wrist inflammation and like, let's see, we always see a wrist contusion going on?
It's weird because his what they have reported is that he had an MRI that revealed bruising in his left wrist.
So is that inside your wrist bruising?
I'm assuming it's just his wrist is like swollen up from taking fucking 70 daddy hacks in in an hour's worth of time to try to win the home run derby. But yeah, apparently he injured his wrist the day before the home run derby on Sunday when he slid into second base against the Texas Rangers. But he was healthy enough to participate in the home run derby and the All-Star game, which is interesting. So maybe, just a little aggravating, little wrist sprain, wrist strain, and they're just calling it bruising. I don't know. Like I said, these diagnoses are getting weird. They're not being very straightforward with any of it, which I guess I get. But that's another one, man. He could be just gone the week, which is what it sounds like. I think that's what the Mariners are hoping for, that swelling and inflammation goes down, and then he's back like nothing ever happened next week. But that could be an injury that kind of hampers him the rest of the year and could play a huge part in the wild card race out in the American League.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of need your wrist for baseball. Was it his throwing wrist?
Oh, good question. It doesn't say.
Still,
left wrist, so no.
No, but you still need your wrist for batting. Got to turn those hands over.
Yeah.
And a hamstring,
but
too.
Just poor timing. Yeah, hamstrings suck. Hamstrings are, whenever you hear a hamstring or a calf, those are ones that can kind of take a while. Guys can come on and off the IL. I feel like Colton Wong has had a calf strain for his entire career as a Brewer. So that's a tough one, man. And kind of like we talked about with Jazz, they're going to have to make an organizational decision there if they want to try to rush him back, maybe not at that 100%, or give him a full month or two off to get him at that 100%.
Rafi, I feel you, man. I had one my sophomore year of high school. It took me out most of the year. I tried to come back. Wasn't worth it. I should have just stayed out. So if you can learn anything from me, man, just take it easy. Take it easy. We want to see you back on the field. Don't rush back. All right? Don't rush back.
Oh, God.
Oh, and let's get to my favorite segment always. Can of corn. Taylor, who won can of corn?
We got to address the elephant in the room first. So we mentioned Rafael Devers went on the IL.
Wasn't that your pick?
Yes. Yes. That was my pick for the can of corn this week. CJ Cron was my pick the week before, if you were wondering. He only had 12 at-bats because he missed the last 3 games of that week with an injury. Oh, the week before that? Yeah, I had Ty France, who went on the IL about a day after we came out with that episode. So I'm 3 for 4 with guys getting hurt in the middle of my can of corn.
I told Taylor before this that he can never pick a Milwaukee Brewer for his can of corn because he will ruin the rest of the season. So no Brewers for Taylor. That's good.
Yes, Sam, 1 can of corn last week. We said we were gonna do it for the rest of this week, but I feel like we should pick new guys for this upcoming week. I'll give you the win. You're obviously gonna win the week if we keep our picks because Devers is not playing.
Did you see Austin Riley's stats though?
Yeah,
he's batting like 470.
He had a good week. Okay, the only guy who I've ever picked who didn't get hurt was Trey Turner, and he hit like 180 that week. It was fucking Trey Turner, dude.
He did do that.
Everybody else I've picked has gotten hurt.
So, Taylor, I want you to get a W at some point.
Dude, I want it to.
And I know I already put my pick on there, but I'm going to delete him.
Ooh.
So you can pick first, and you have the entire Major League Baseball roster at your disposal. Who are you going to pick for this week's can of corn?
All right, we're going to switch up the thinking a little bit here. We're going to go. I'm going to take one for the team, Sam, I'm going to pick a player on the Minnesota Twins.
Okay, I was going to say, don't pick anyone from my fantasy team, you bastard.
The Twins happen to play their next 3 games against the Milwaukee Brewers. No reason. I'm just going to pick a Minnesota Twin and see what happens,
It's going to go off. I'm
going to be so mad when Carlos Correa goes off against the Brewers this week. But I wouldn't be the most upset if, a little nagging hamstring, little calf injury keeps him out for a couple days.
He has been hurt this year quite a bit, too.
He has. I'm going to go with Carlos Correa. Change the mojo. I hope he doesn't do it against the Brewers. I hope he has a huge weekend series against whoever the hell the Twins are playing. But I'm going to go with Carlos Correa.
I like it. That's a great pick. I am going to go with, since it is trade week,
Yes.
I'm going to go with somebody that is on the market and wants to get the fuck out of Cincinnati. Give me Brandon Drury.
Okay.
Come on, kid.
He could have a big week. I was going to go with the freight train, but I decided to stick with Correa.
Well, that's not bad. You should pick somebody with trade bait, but I like your pick, though, to just get
we're
somebody.
We're going to break the mojo, or it's going to be a good thing for the Brewers. So
I will laugh
win-win
so
either
hard.
way.
I'll laugh so hard if Correa comes up like first at bat and just gets hurt. Like I will literally
or goes
pee.
yard either
I'll
way.
probably pee my pants. Both ways. It's going to be both ways. I'm probably going to end up peeing my pants. He's either going to do really good or he's going to get hurt and I'm still going to pee my pants.
Fucking 4-0, Sam. Get the hell out of here.
4-0, people. And I just told you my trades.
Injuries.
Huh.
Injury bug.
Interesting.
Just the injuries, man.
Sam knows balls. Ball. He knows ball. Well, thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Sandlot Talk. It's a big week. I'm going to try and get this thing out to you as soon as possible, so we are ahead of the trades. But I am very excited for the next couple days this weekend, and for sure Monday and Tuesday of next week. This could be a huge trade deadline, especially for those contenders.
Yeah, I want to just add, I think we both talked about we're going to try to be a little more active on the social pages. Give us a follow at the Sandlot Talk, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We got to try to grow the game, try to get the podcast out there for more people to experience so we can all grow the game of baseball together. So, if you're one of our loyal listeners, one of our friends who take the time out of your day to listen to us idiots talk about baseball, give us a follow, comment on the post, give us some engagement. Get the social media algorithm on our side.
Absolutely. Tell your mom, tell your dad.
Tell your friends.
Tell your mistress.
We feel like we're
Tell that MILF across the street.
We feel like we need to start growing the pod, growing the game. Let's see where we can take this thing.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself, Taylor. Maybe would have swore a little bit more, but that's all right.
We're going to be a family-friendly podcast.
I am not.
Fuck that.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Until next week.
See ya.